For Senator Cornyn, are we going to get
One more.
What?
We're waiting on Senator Brett.
Are they all here at one? Senator Cornyn.
Mr. Chairman, I just had a question for the, I just had a question for the ranking member. I've heard other people say this, but I heard him say it this morning that the Save America Act will disenfranchise millions of Americans. The legislation requires proof of American citizenship and a photo ID to vote. So I don't understand how it could disenfranchise millions of Americans, and maybe he would explain.
Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want clear, direct coverage of what's really happening inside Washington without the spin, you're in the right place. Today we're looking at a moment from a Senate discussion that perfectly captures one of the biggest debates in American politics right now: election security versus claims of voter suppression. Senator Mike Lee stepped in to directly challenge Senator Dick Durbin's criticism of the Save America Act, and the exchange raises some serious questions about the narrative surrounding voter ID laws. Let's break down what actually happened.
I'm happy to. Thank you for that question, because I think all of us should be aware of the fact of what is required by this act when it comes to registering to vote. You have to present identification, correct? But your driver's license, which most people use in the course of business every single day, is not acceptable. What is acceptable is a passport. 50% of Americans do not have a passport. Those who want to obtain it so they can vote will pay $186 and wait 3 or 4 weeks for that to happen. Secondly, you can use a birth certificate, but any person who has changed their name as a result of a marriage or a hyphenated relationship has to find not only their birth certificate, but some correction of it to prove that they're eligible to register to vote. It's estimated that 9% of the voters in America do not have the identification required by this bill. It means ultimately that those people will not be voting. And I think that is the ultimate goal of this administration.
One last question. Those are all matters that could be addressed by amendments to the bill itself if we get on the bill, correct?
When's the last time we
For
amended
which
a
I
bill?
would think there would
Mr.
be
Chair,
broad
parliamentary
support.
inquiry. Do we have a quorum present?
We do have a quorum, but
Thank you.
I think we ought to let Lee shortly speak on this.
Yeah,
Then we'll vote.
I'm happy to report to my dear friend and colleague, Senator Durbin from Illinois. You're in luck. We've taken care of that. When you read the bill, what you'll discover is that we've made special accommodation for those who don't have documentation, for those who can't find their birth certificate, maybe their house burned down, maybe their dog ate it, whatever it is. When all else fails, if you don't have documentation establishing the information on your birth certificate or what would be in a passport or otherwise, the bill contains a provision requiring each state to allow an alternative mechanism by which someone can, by attestation, issue a sworn statement establishing the critical facts underlying their citizenship. It then puts the onus on the state to follow up on that and to determine the authenticity of it. States have access to their own records. States have reciprocity with other states and are able to achieve verification of that. So we've taken care of that problem, and so I'm sure you'll be elated to hear that, and we look forward to having your affirmative vote when we vote on the Save America Act. We took great pains to go out of our way to make sure that no American would be left in the dark.
Well,
this will not cost them a dime, and no one will be excluded if they can't find their documentation.
This is such a scourge on American political scene that in the last 20 years, there have been 24 identified cases of non-Americans trying to vote. 24 people in 20 years. And the president said, we won't consider any other legislation until we consider this bill.
The exchange started when Mike Lee questioned Durbin's claim that requiring proof of citizenship and identification to vote would block millions of Americans from participating in elections. Durbin argued the bill could create obstacles for some voters. He pointed out that many Americans don't have passports and that people who have changed their names after marriage might face documentation challenges. He also claimed millions of voters could lack the identification required by the legislation. But Lee responded by explaining that the bill includes an alternative system for voters who don't have those documents. Under the proposal, if someone cannot locate their birth certificate or passport, they can submit a sworn statement confirming their citizenship. The state would then be responsible for verifying that information using available records. Lee argued the goal is simple: protect election integrity while making sure no eligible American is prevented from voting. Durbin countered by saying cases of non-citizens voting are extremely rare and questioned whether the legislation is necessary. So the debate ultimately comes down to two competing views: whether stronger verification laws protect elections or whether they risk creating unnecessary barriers. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Capitol Current for more clear coverage of the biggest political debates happening in Washington. And stay tuned, because we'll continue following the Save America Act and the broader fight over election integrity across the United States.